Market research is a business industry all in itself, so sometimes it can be difficult to find information through the internet. For this course, we are going to be using a website for a company that provides market research for a fee. However, as an introduction, their preview data as well as their categorization of industry sectors can give a lot of insight. So when you get to the home page, you are first going to select the Industry Research pull-down menu. Roll over the U.S. Industry Reports. You may not have thought about what industry sector your business idea belongs in, and that's okay. First, look at these categories listed and click on the industry that makes the most sense for your idea. For this tutorial, I'm going to use NIFTY as our business case. I will select Educational Services because NIFTY provides entrepreneurship curriculum and programming, which lies in the education industry. This page begins with our industry sector snapshot. So let's take a look at what information we can get from this page. So we've got a couple of different categories here. We have our annual figures, our growth, and our forecast growth. We're looking at the revenue, the amount of money that the industry makes, and also how many businesses there are operating in this space. So the current data shows that we have 440,983 businesses sharing about $1.5 billion in revenue. If we look at the current growth model, we see that there is an increase in the number of businesses operating in this space. And though there is also an increase in the growth of revenue for this space, they are not proportionate. So what these numbers show us is that there are more businesses competing for the revenue share, and the revenue share is not growing quite as fast as many businesses there are competing. That means each business has an opportunity for a little bit less of the share of the marketplace. So it's important to analyze our numbers. We're looking at the forecast as well, and we can see that businesses might respond by saying, hey, there's not as much money here for us to share, and maybe we're in the wrong business, even though the customers are paying the same amount of revenue. Next, we can look at industry subcategories and data more specific to your business plan idea. You can see by examining the subcategories that there are many more specific sectors to educational services. Again, using NIFTY as an example, I will have to select a subcategory. Now, none of these feel exactly right, so because we work with public schools, I'm going to check that one out first. So here we see that you're going to hit what is called the paywall. Ignore this green button that asks you for your purchase options. We can get a ton of information from this preview page. So again, now we are looking at some similar ideas that we saw on the snapshot on the first page. So now we're looking at our revenue just for public schools, our growth just for public schools, and how many businesses are operating within public schools. Those numbers are important, but we can get a lot more information from the text. So here we can see that there are threats and opportunities. Threats and opportunities are really interesting to analyze because they help us to understand how we can make a difference in a given industry. So when we're thinking about business planning, we're talking about what's going to make us different from the businesses that are already operating in this space. In this case, we have 106,000 businesses that are operating within the public school space. And so we need to say, hey, what's going to make us stand out so that we can grab a bigger share of that revenue? So the threats and opportunities that are listed here are largely having to do with the policy that is around public schools, and that might be relevant to any of your business ideas as well. So make sure that you are taking the time to be thoughtful and asking good questions of your classmates and of teachers and any volunteers you have in the classroom about how your threats and opportunities affect your idea. We also have to remember that we might have to pivot. There might be a threat or an opportunity that helps us to better understand the business idea that we are working on, and these ideas can always change slightly to make sure that they are successful as a business. We also can scroll down here. There are some additional insights. Again, we're asking for you to ignore this purchase button because we are just doing an introduction, and we can get everything we need to make sure that we prove that our business idea is worth pursuing. If you are feeling a little bit stuck around selecting a category, that's totally normal. So make sure you look around. If we start back at the industry research pull down, going over our U.S. industry reports, and we select View All Reports, we will get a big old list of all the subcategories. Sometimes when you look at the subcategories, it helps you to better understand the industry category that your business lies within. So if you scroll through all of these, just kind of taking them in, trying to understand how different businesses are categorized into their industry sector, you might find something that fits better. So I'm going to scroll real fast because all the way down at the bottom, in a category that I didn't really think fit for Nifty when I looked at our initial list, but once I see the subcategories, I realize, in these other services, right, that's not very descriptive. But then we see social and youth organizations, which definitely fills some of the criteria of Nifty's work. So I might want to check that one out as well. Research requires time and patience and curiosity, so make sure you're putting that effort into your project and you look around. Sometimes your idea might fall into multiple industries. For your work here in this class, you're going to have to pick 2 subcategories that apply to your business idea. So that's great. Understanding all of the different types of businesses and possibly different industries that access your customers will help you to plan your business for success. Happy researching!